What's up, guys? Ben here with One Take Thoughts, and it is day 49 or 50, I think it's 49, of being nicotine and Zyn free. So, guys, we're at about the 50-day mark, so halfway to 100. I think the goal I laid out for myself was I wanted to make it 3 months with this video series just to keep me accountable to get off that portion of time, and then I should be good. You know, of course, there's always a battle of like telling yourself you don't want that and trying to keep away from being addicted. That goes with after the 3 month mark. But from what I've heard and done research on, the dopamine affects you uh, maybe a tinge at the 3 month mark, but after that, it doesn't. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But guys, I feel like I feel so much better. Like, seriously, guys, I don't want to make it seem like it's a bunch of hyperbole or exaggerated feelings, but like, seriously, more energetic, more happy, more optimistic, more confident. Like, let me just tell you something here. When I was addicted to nicotine, for whatever reason, I would dread a lot more stuff. I would like overthink a lot more. I would worry a lot more. Social interaction became a lot more difficult for whatever reason. I don't even know. But like, I would have to hype myself up to talk to people. Like, it was weird. It's just the way that it affected my body. And granted, it doesn't affect everyone the same way, but it made me so much more anxious, just socially anxious, anxious in general. I really do feel just so much better being off of that. And yeah, I mean, at this point now, it's kind of the same feelings of like, I feel good. I feel, you know, whatever, just feel like a normal person. Versus when I was addicted to nicotine, I really didn't feel myself being addicted to nicotine. So, I don't know. Do what you will with that information. I'm definitely going to say that not everyone is going to be affected the way that I was. Some people are sensitive to nicotine. Some people can be totally fine off of nicotine. And if you are, a nicotine user, you know what? I'm not going to hate on that. Do what you feel you need to do. As long as you don't feel it's wrong. If you feel that doing nicotine is fine, then I totally have no problem with that. Smoking cigarettes. Cigarettes is a hard one because it's been proven to really kill people. But like, doing Copenhagen or smoking a cigar or Zyn, there's nothing inherently wrong with that in my opinion. It's the same with drinking. There's nothing inherently wrong with that in my opinion. But when you take it too far, that's always an issue. But if you feel like it's wrong, or if you feel like it's doing damage to your body, and you really don't think you should be doing it, then I'd recommend getting off. Make the jump. If you really don't feel good about doing it, and you've just been like addicted to it, just make the jump, man. Like, trust me, you will feel 100 times better. And there's an initial period where you'll feel like crap, but you know, uh, just just realize that you're going to feel a lot better, and you're going to be a lot better if you're off of it, if that's the way it's affecting you. Anyways, I don't want to make this all about myself. I saw a couple comments in the last few videos. Just a lot of people encouraging me. Some people were saying, "Oh, I wish I had your willpower." Listen, guys. First of all, I gotta say it was Jesus who helped me through. I mean, I had to pray a lot to get through a lot of that. Um, and secondly, you can get through it. I mean, seriously, it's just about saying to yourself, "I want to get off of nicotine," and that is one of the first and very crucial steps to getting off of nicotine. Is saying, "I don't want to be in this hole any longer." I was thinking to myself, like, how do people stay addicted to nicotine? Well, they just don't probably quit. They do it for a little bit, and then they're like, oh, I'm just going to keep doing it, and they don't worry about quitting. But somebody who has gotten addicted to it and has quit numerous times and really doesn't feel comfortable in that, you know, that's a good sign that you are going to get out of that addiction. Um, you know, and don't get discouraged when you try to quit and you fail 10, 20, 30 times. Don't get discouraged, like you're quitting. Don't make it a big thing. Don't blow it up and like get all anxious about, oh, it's all this and that. Just take it easy, take it one day at a time. um and just try to remember why you're doing it. Realize your reasoning for getting off of nicotine, and just remember that. And if you fail, you fail, but just get right back up on it when you feel ready to do it again and when you feel ready to quit. Um, but it doesn't willpower. I I mean, there's a book on it where they talk about willpower and how you can't quit from willpower. I don't know if I totally agree with that. My will did not want to do it. So ultimately, I guess my will was against my fleshly will of my will to quit was greater than my will to do it. Ben Affleck, I remember he was talking about how pain was so great of a motivator for him to get off of. I think he was an alcoholic, and it was so great of a motivator that it just kind of, it was a greater will than the will of drinking alcohol. So maybe you look at it like that. Like, does the positive outweigh the negative? And if the negative outweighs the positive, well, you got to look at that in a reasonable sense of like, okay, the negative is outweighing the positive here. It's not smart for me to continue doing this. I'm going to get off of this. And then, the application may take a lot longer, but if your mental is saying, I want to get off of this and I'm going to get off of this, then it's only a matter of time, right? I mean, if you really want to quit, then it's only a matter of time. And the will thing, it'll just come with it. I don't know if any of that makes sense. That's how I kind of work through it all, I guess. That could just be a bunch of gibberish. Who knows? But yeah, 50-day mark, feeling good, feeling great. Seriously, best decision I made in the year. This year, also the worst decision I made this year was starting it. So, and I just like to stay off of it. I'd like to keep away. There's a lot more pleasures out there. That's one thing is you're addicted to nicotine, and you're thinking to yourself, my life is not going to be pleasurable after this. I've messed my life up. The dopamine will not come back. Seriously, guys, I had some of the best moments of the year after I quit nicotine. Like one of the best trips I've had in a decade. I went to Bend. It's kind of this beautiful area in Oregon, and I just hung out there, and it was a gorgeous trip. And I'm just so thankful to be a part of that trip. And it just made me realize, there's so much to life. I don't need to think that nicotine is what brings my fulfillment, and it doesn't need to bring your fulfillment either. There's a lot greater things out there, and first and foremost, the Bible and the Lord Jesus. Yeah. So my ramblings for the night, I figured, haven't made a post about my nicotine Zyn journey. So I figured I'd just give you guys a nice long 10-minute ramble here. But yeah, I mean, if anything else I want to get across this message, I want it to be, you can quit if you want to quit, if you're doing it and you're happy with doing it and you don't want to quit, don't worry about it. I'm not going to hear it. I'm not going to try to force it onto you. That's one thing that really annoys me about some people is that, say somebody comes to a place in their mind where they're like, okay, I want to quit nicotine. I want to quit cigarettes. I want to quit drinking or whatever, and so they force it on other people to do that same thing. Now, cigarettes, that's one thing, but there's some things that are not as dangerous. Like Zyn is one of those things where the carcinogens are not nearly as bad as cigarettes, and even not nearly as bad as like dip. So demonizing it's a little bit harder. Now I get it. If you're a parent, then yeah, you should probably tell your kids, hey, don't be a drunk, or don't be a cigarette smoker, don't do drugs. But if you're both adults, I have a hard time with just getting on the person all the time about like, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. It's their life. That's at the end of the day, my journey does not affect you, and I don't think it should. I don't want your journey to affect me. Now, I take your wisdom and I'll take your life experiences and I'll take that and I'll look at it and I'll apply it to my life if I feel there's good stuff in that. But if I believe that I don't want to do Zyn, I don't want to stop you from doing Zyn, okay? If you enjoy it, I know some people that love doing Zyn. I know some people that love doing dip. And I'm not going to get on them and say, hey, you're bad for doing that. I don't care. You can do that if you want, man. And if you enjoy that, then more power to you, man. Like, if you can enjoy doing that and your life is fine and you feel happy and you're not anxious and you feel good, more power to you. You know, I'm not gonna hate on that. I drink a little bit. You know, I'll have a couple beers in the week. I don't drink a lot. I try to make sure that it's low. You know, of just a few beers in the week, but I have a couple beers. Now, there's some people I know um, who would probably think that that's wrong. But you know, like let's look at the Bible here. Well, the Bible, Jesus drank. Is that wrong? No. We're talking about Jesus, the gold standard for holiness, and he drank. So I'm not going to touch that too much, but that's just my 2 cents, all right? So it's the same thing with the nicotine. Nicotine, you know, there could be arguments made on both sides, but in my opinion, it's not a sin to do nicotine. And Zyn is not a sin, okay, guys? That's my belief. But for myself, I don't want to do it. And so if you watch this video and you're like, oh, this guy's trying to get on us Zyn users or us nicotine users or us smokers even, I'm not getting on you. You do what you feel you need to do, and I'm going to do what I need to do. And yeah, that's what America's about, baby. America. Anyways, guys, sorry for my ramblings. It's late. I should go to bed. But yeah, other than that, peace.